Hello artists, welcome to another project video. In today's video, I'm gonna show you how to do paper weaving art, such as this, using very simple materials. So if you're ready, let's go make. We'll start by folding our paper in half in a portrait direction. On the longest side at the top, draw a line from side to side. Make sure it's the side where the paper opens up. We will call this line our stop line. Then, with the help of a ruler or anything that can help you make a straight line, you're going to create a lot of vertical lines that go from the folded side of the paper all the way up to the stop line. I decided to do my lines with 1/2 inch of separation, but this doesn't matter much. You can make your lines without measuring, just make sure you have enough to create a nice, interesting weaving. When done doing the lines, cut them up, starting again from the folded side of the paper all the way up to the stop line. Make sure to stop cutting before you get too far and accidentally cut away your paper. This will be the loom and it will be the base for our weaving. Next, we have to make stripes of paper. Fold a colored piece of paper in half and cut away straight lines. Try to make your cuts consistent on size for each stripe. Make sure they don't come up too wide or too skinny. Cut any color of paper you're planning to use. You can also do this with magazines, or you can create your own color paper. I like breaking down my paper with random lines. That just makes it easier for me to color everything around. You can try this technique of watering down your marker lines to make it look like a watercolor, or you can just use crayons, color pencils, full of markers, whatever you have. You can also use this idea to create your loom. If your loom has some color on the background, I think it will look a lot more interesting than if I use just a plain white piece of paper. But for now, we're just gonna cut that one up and also my magazine pieces. The whole process of weaving, it's really easy. All you have to remember is to move your strip across the loom in an under and over pattern. Your strips of paper will go through the cut lines of the loom in this pattern, passing under and over the cuts, and the pattern always stays the same. The first one you can start anyway, and then the second one is where you have to pay a little bit more attention. My first strip went under the first line, then my second one, the purple, has to go opposite, so I will pass it over the first line and then continue with the pattern over and under. You can start to notice how it will be starting to look like a checkerboard pattern, and if you see a little square that doesn't belong, simply pull your string away and start over. Every new strip that you do has to start in the opposite way as the previous one. That's how you make sure that you have that checker pattern. You will repeat the process until the whole loom is filled up. Remember to keep your pattern under and over, and remember to be checking on your strips to make sure that you have an empty square and then a color square, an empty square, a color square. Finish it up, you will need to glue all of the strips to the loom. Add a dot of glue to the last bit of strip and press down for a couple seconds to make sure the glue holds on. Do this on both sides of the paper. Finally, you're gonna cut away all the excess papers on the side. Like I said, you also can use a colored piece of paper or a magazine as your loom for a more interesting pattern. If you're up for a challenge, in your folders I will add designs for you to weave in all of the kinds of patterns. I'm gonna do the Aztec pattern. It's supposed to be this one. Your design will come with a template just like this on the side. It will have some excess and empty spaces. This is for you to follow, kind of like you are building up a Lego. The empty spaces will tell you how many to weave over, and the check mark will tell you how many to weave under. It is a little bit challenging, but it's not too hard. It's just going to take you a little bit extra time. Mine took me a lot longer than all the other ones because there was a lot of figuring out to do, figuring out like how many unders, how many overs was I supposed to do. But at the end, I think all that time spent, it was worth it. When you're done, the same way as the other one, you're going to glue all of your strips down using little bits of dots of glue on each stripe of paper, and then pressing down hard for a couple of seconds just to make sure the glue really sticks on. Don't forget to flip your paper around and do the same with the other strips of paper. Grab a pair of scissors and cut them away. I also made a very similar video on how to make a heart weaving with a hanger if you're interested and can't get enough weaving. There you have it, artists. It was not complicated at all. Don't forget to check on your Schoology folders for more paper weaving designs and templates. And that's it for me today. I will see you until the next week. Bye!